Hey guys, Tim here with the Long Hair Gardener, and happy spring. Today is garden cleanup day. It is finally arrived. All I'm gonna do back here is clean up some of the leaves that have fallen off from my tree, and also pick up some of the dead plants from last year. I always wait until spring to do that cleanup, and it is now officially time. And I know this because the daffodils behind me here are in bloom. So I'm also going to, after I clean up all of these leaves, I'm going to walk you around and show you which bulbs are coming up, and also trim back a few plants in preparation for the new spring growth. So, oh, and I also got just a few new plants. Let me walk over here right now. So I'm also going to find a spot for this ranunculus, which is a spring blooming plant. I also have two sempervitums. So I have if you've ever seen any of my other videos, I do have a sempervitum bowl that I have now done over 2 times. I have some rotting problems. We do fortunately get a lot of rain. I thought I fixed the draining issue, but anyway, I have some that rot every year, so I did get some more to replace or fill in the holes. So this one is Sempervitum Commander Hay, and this one is Sempervitum Silver. There might be another word underneath that tag, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to peel that off later. But anyway, that's what's happening today. I also have a red hot poker plant, which I am going to put in the ground as well. All right, so the first thing I want to do is just cut back any dead foliage from the winter. So I'm going to start with my asparagus ferns, which may or may not have survived the winter. They're not looking too good, but I do want to start with those, cut those back, and also investigate the banana tree. So this was my setup for trying to overwinter the asparagus fern. Just put them in between these 2 pots with some plastic covering them. Honestly, they're not looking so good. I'm not having a lot of confidence that they are going to come back, but I'm going to go ahead and just trim them back, trim all this dead foliage off, because it is definitely not going to get green again. So I'm just going to cut this off and then sit it in the sun. I might also try to pop it out, try to pop the root ball out and see if any of the roots are still white. I also have a wire vine, looks like growing in here, so I'm just going to trim that back as well. That may come back. I've had this asparagus fern right here for many years, and if you've ever, actually if you look right here, this is still looking pretty green at the bottom, so I'm hoping that this one survived. If you've ever overwintered an asparagus fern inside, you will know that all of these like little leaves tend to fall off and make a huge mess. So after bringing this one in for maybe 3 or so years, I kind of got tired of dealing with the mess, so I thought, let's just try to overwinter this outside. Asparagus fern is, you know, not rare, and it's certainly not expensive, so I thought we'll just risk it outside and save me some mess. in my apartment this year. But I am feeling pretty good about this green. I also need to come back in here. Let me go grab my clippers and trim back the mint. So I think I have a couple left over. There we go, we'll just trim those back. So this is mint right here. And as you can see, there's some new growth. So that's good. Mint is, let's be honest, hard to kill. It's actually a little invasive, which is why I have it in this pot. So the tag's still in here. This is Moroccan spearmint, but I do like to occasionally cook with it, so that's why I'm growing it. Let's go back over here. I also have some lemon balm. I don't really use this for anything in particular. It's a plant that I just like to grow. I like the way it smells. It kind of smells like Lemon Pledge, to be honest. So every now and then I come back and I just take a few leaves off and enjoy the scent. And that's why I grow this one. But you can, I believe, you'd have to look that up. Don't believe me. But I believe you can make a tea from it. I have a faint memory of me maybe making some tea from it, but again, make sure to Google that. I don't want you to drink something that you're not supposed to drink. So that looks pretty good. Let's step over here. While we're walking over here, let me bring over, this pot is very wet, I can tell, it's super heavy. My rainbow ascot euphorbia. Looks like this has wintered over very nicely. I'm not going to do it right now, but I feel like I may want to trim that back as the season goes on, just so it doesn't get so big. But what else do we have to do? We have to take a look at the banana. So this is this mess is the banana plant. I wrapped a trash bag around it and just stuck some some dead plants in the bag. And I was basically trying to create a barrier, or like a little insulation around the base of this plant. This is the first time I've ever tried to overwinter it outside. Normally our winters in Philadelphia are relatively mild, and of course the year that I try to overwinter this plant, it was extremely cold. So I'm not sure if it survived or not, but I am going to just remove all of the insulation that I put around it and hope for the best. I'm not gonna like pull it out of the ground. It does feel a little squishy, which in plant world that's usually not a good sign. But I'm just gonna let it out here, and hopefully we'll see some growth. These are definitely the wrong, oh yeah, this is not looking good. Not looking good at all. I'm using the wrong clippers for sure. Yeah, this, let's be honest, we're gonna call this let me try to find something else to cut that with. Okay, also the wrong kind of clippers to be cutting this down with. Yeah, this guy is, look at the water. Water's just kind of shooting out of that. I am 99% sure this guy is toast. It's like, it looks like an artichoke. This guy is, yeah, pretty sure he's dead. So that's all right. I took a risk, and I don't think it worked out, but that's fine. I've had this plant for 3 years, so it just means it's time to try a different plant, maybe a different variety of banana tree. This is definitely rotten. I can smell it. So yeah, I'm just going to, I think that's all I had to trim back. Honestly, there might be like 1 or 2 things. Let me stand up here and spin around. As far as trimming goes, that's basically all I had to do. You can see all of my bulbs are coming up here. I did bring up the huge trash can. So I think that's all I had to do for cutting back. Basically all I have to do now is go in here and gather up all of the dead leaves. I'm not even gonna call this a trim back. This is basically just me pulling out the dead leaves. Forget what plant I had in here. So I'm just gonna go in here and remove all of the leaves now, and then we can take a look at all these daffodils and some of the other bulbs that are slowly coming up. As I'm moving the leaves away, you can see we already have some hostas coming up. So that is, of course, good news. So I just need to go through here and remove all the leaves, and then I will show you what the final result looks like. All right, so the trash can is already filled to the top, so we're going to stop today with this part. I do live in an apartment building, so I don't want to use up all of the trash cans for my neighbors, but I did get a lot of the leaves and debris cleared up here around the bulbs, which is what which was my main focus. I'll worry about back here another day. But now that all of the leaves are cleared away, we can kind of see a little bit better what's going on down here. So up against this yucca plant right here. All right, we need both hands for this. And look at the roots on this. This is pretty crazy. Honestly, I feel like, yeah, I could definitely divide this and make this into 2 plants, but like I just said, I hope I just said, I just looked at the camera and I'm not even sure if it was recording, so you may be entering me midway into what's going on here. And I was saying I don't have a lot of room back here, but I am going to try to squeeze this one in. These roots are crazy, so I'm going to just pop this back here. All right, so here is the ranunculus, and I think this looks nice right here with all of the other bulbs. And the other thing that I wanted to do was just come over here and put my new Sempervitum in the bowl. I have added a considerable amount of perlite in here for drainage, and I still have some rotting problems in the summertime. So that's why basically I need to replace or fill in some of these holes. I think more of these Sempervitums have wintered over or have survived than I initially thought, so that is a good thing. Obviously, don't want to have to buy these every year. I do love them. I think they're really pretty. but they do not love the rain that we get here sometimes. Made sure to buy ones that have lots of babies. So if I wanted, I could also break some of these off and move them around the pot, and then I will have more plants that way. I'm not going to do too much moving around with any of the other sempervitums that are in here because it's still early in this season. I don't want to disturb them too much, but I did want to go ahead and get, oops, there's another one right here. Did want to go ahead and get these in the ground. These new ones. You'll have to excuse the weeds that are hanging out in here. All right, I think that's probably gonna be good. It doesn't look fantastic right now, but that's because these are still a little dormant. So once it gets warm, they will kind of puff up, get a little bigger, and spread out. So I think this is pretty good. That'd be awesome if I only needed to get 2 plants to fill in where some of these other ones have died. I think I'm also going to come in here and just maybe trim off some of these yucca leaves. Just so this new plant, sorry, I'm really throwing this camera around. There we go, just so this plant isn't covered up. There we go, now we can see it. We can also see the allium a little bit better. So I think that's gonna look good. There's also remnants of a wire vine down here, which may or may not be alive. So we'll find out more later. All right, guys, that's everything for today. Just a little cleanup and a little mini tour to see what's happening back here in the springtime. So things are going great. I hope you are getting out in your garden as well and enjoying the beautiful weather. So thank you for watching and have a great day. Please don't forget to click like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video.